have now been looked at as an important mechanism for biocultural evolution. So this migration means what? We have to originate somewhere and then traverse across and settle down, and then again traverse across and settle down, and so on. So this is what we call peopling of the world. Now the Indian subcontinent is part of the old world. This map gives you an idea of the old world, which means the Asia, Europe and Africa. Because these three contiguous continental areas have preserved evidence for the earliest human settlements. Whereas Australia, the Americas and some islands across the oceans within the larger ocean areas are still uninhabited for various reasons. But these three areas have given evidence for development of humans biologically and culturally continuously over the last 2 million years or even more. Now we know that this biocultural evolution began some 33 lakh years ago. And so where it began and when it began, and these two questions find answers in the African archaeological record. So where we think that the oldest human settlements and the earliest stages of human biological evolution are also very well documented in African archaeological sites, especially in Eastern Africa, in the Rift Valley, and further south in Southern Africa and so on. And this map gives you an idea that African sites are the oldest, and I should also tell you, we are dealing with people who did not have a written language, and so pre-literate societies. So if they were literate people, they would have left a record consciously. But here the situation is very, very different, and the prehistoric period extends over much longer time. Suppose 99% of human existence on this earth is prehistoric period, and only 1% is historical period where human societies are literate and so on. So here, in order to answer these base questions, historical questions like who were the first settlers here, when they came, what were their lifeways, and such similar questions of how they were able to successfully adapt to a particular region. These are all questions we have to answer, but there is no written record. So the archaeological record is addressed through multidisciplinary investigations. In the beginning, we were only dealing with stone tools and other kinds of vestiges which were made by man and utilized and discarded. They were not left behind consciously. And then they happen to become part of the surface and subsurface, and then they gradually, get converted into an archaeological record. And when we go there, we look at these vestiges, and we also search for the people who made them and so on. But we don't know when they made, who made them and so on. So we identify them on the basis of typical types of stone tools or typical types of artifacts, artifacts which were made. So any object which was first invented by our ancestors identifies them. So for example, in Africa we have sites called Lomekwian sites. There are not many, but there are one or two sites where the stone tools only have been found, and they have been dated to 3.3 million years. So until this was dated to 3.3 million years, Olduvai Gorge in Kenya was considered the oldest site, going back to 2.6 million years. So these investigations, if they continue, uninterrupted, they add to newer and newer insights and finding new evidence, and then our understanding gets revived, and so on. So the similar sites outside of Africa are much younger. They are younger, around 2 million years, 1.5 million years, 1 million years, and so on and so forth.